15,000 years ago, something extraordinary prowled the frozen grasslands of ancient North America. A lion larger than any alive today stalked herds of prehistoric horses across endless plains. But this apex predator wasn't alone at the top of the food chain. Towering above, it stood something even more terrifying. A bear so massive it could reach cave ceilings 15 feet high. When these two titans crossed paths over a fresh kill, who backed down? Tonight, we're reconstructing an encounter that may have happened thousands of times during the Ice Age. Using cutting-edge paleontology and forensic analysis, we'll determine which predator truly ruled this vanished world. Two predators, one territory, only the strongest survived. Meet the Contenders. Before we stage our ultimate confrontation, we need to understand exactly what these animals were. First, the challenger, Panthera atrox, better known as the American lion. Don't confuse this predator with modern African lions. While they share similar DNA and hunting strategies, the American lion operated on an entirely different scale. Fossil evidence reveals an animal measuring 5 to 8 feet from nose to tail base. Standing 4 feet tall at the shoulder, it carried itself with characteristic feline grace. But here's where things get interesting. Average males weighed approximately 545 pounds. That's substantially heavier than most African lions hunting the Serengeti today. The American lion skeleton tells a story of raw athletic power. Leg bones were roughly 10% longer than those of modern lions and considerably more robust. This wasn't some specialized sprinter or dedicated ambush hunter. Evolution had crafted something versatile, a predator combining devastating strength with surprising speed. Now let's examine the champion, Arctodus simus, the giant short-faced bear. That name is deeply misleading. There is absolutely nothing small about this animal. The short-faced designation refers only to its relatively abbreviated snout compared to other bear species. Standing on all fours, this bear reached 5 to 6 feet at the shoulder. That's roughly human height before this animal even attempted to rear upward. When it did stand on hind legs, Arctodus towered between 11 and 12 feet tall. Museum researchers have documented claw marks attributed to short-faced bears reaching 15 feet up cave walls. Imagine the reach required to leave scratches at that height. Now, imagine encountering that reach in person. Weight estimates for large males range between 1,500 and 1,760 pounds. Some specimens potentially exceeded 1,800 pounds. This wasn't just the largest bear in North America. It was one of the largest terrestrial carnivores ever to walk the planet. Shared territory. Understanding where these predators lived is crucial to determining whether they actually encountered each other. The American lion emerged roughly 129,000 years ago. It vanished around 13,000 years back during the mysterious megafaunal extinction that claimed countless Ice Age giants. Fossils have been recovered from Canada down through Mexico, indicating an enormous territorial range. This cat preferred open habitats where its speed and vision provided maximum advantage. Savannas, grasslands, and vast plains became its hunting grounds. Think African lion habitat transplanted to Ice Age North America. Fossil sites in Alberta, Wyoming, Texas, and even Peru confirm this predator's remarkable adaptability. Dense forests, however, were different territory. Those environments belonged to Ice Age jaguars, another formidable predator. The American lion apparently recognized this boundary and avoided unnecessary conflict. The short-faced bear appeared much earlier, approximately 800,000 years ago. It survived until roughly 11,000 years back, outlasting the American lion by 2,000 years. Fossils appear across an even wider range than the lion's territory. Alaska to Mississippi, West Coast to eastern regions. This bear was everywhere. La Brea tar pits alone have yielded numerous short-faced bear specimens, making it one of the most well-documented Ice Age predators. Habitat preference reveals something fascinating about Arctodus behavior. This bear favored open woodlands, valleys, and plains. Its long legs weren't just for reaching high cave walls. They were built for covering distance. Skeletal proportions suggest this bear could travel farther and potentially faster than modern grizzlies. Here's the critical question. Did these two predators actually meet? The answer is almost certainly yes. Overlapping territories and identical time periods make encounters inevitable. Picture an American lion bringing down a bison calf on open grassland. That kill represents days of calories. Then something massive appears on the horizon. A short-faced bear has detected the scent of fresh blood from miles away. Now, both predators face a choice: fight or flee. Hunting strategies. Despite both occupying apex positions in the food web, these predators pursued fundamentally different survival strategies. The American lion was a dedicated killer. Isotope analysis from fossil bones confirms an almost exclusively carnivorous diet. Large herbivores dominated its menu. Ancient horses, camels, bison, deer, young mammoths, even giant ground sloths. If it was big, slow enough to catch, and made of meat, Panthera Atrox hunted it. Hunting methodology followed classic big cat patterns: stealth, patience, explosive ambush attacks. Those powerful legs launched the lion forward at estimated speeds approaching 50 miles per hour in short bursts. Sharp retractable claws, reaching 4 inches long, latched onto prey while crushing jaws delivered the killing bite. Scientists debate whether American lions lived in prides like their African cousins. Cooperative hunting would certainly explain how they tackled truly massive prey. Even alone, however, a single American lion represented lethal efficiency. This was a precision instrument honed by millions of years of feline evolution. The short-faced bear operated differently. Arctodus simus remains one of paleontology's most debated predators. Was it a hyper-carnivore actively hunting large prey, or was it primarily a scavenger? Chemical bone analysis suggests a heavily meat-based diet. Researchers estimate this bear required approximately 35 pounds of meat daily to maintain its massive bulk. That's a lot of calories to secure consistently through active hunting alone. Dental and skull structure reveal adaptations for slicing flesh, not the crushing molars typical of omnivorous bears. Yet those long legs and relatively gracile build suggest something unusual. This bear wasn't built like modern grizzlies, which can wrestle down elk and moose through sheer violent power. Current scientific consensus leans toward kleptoparasitism, stealing kills from other predators. Imagine being a saber-toothed cat or dire wolf pack finishing a hard-won kill. Suddenly, this towering bear appears. Standing 12 feet tall, weighing over a ton, it simply walks toward your meal. What do? You leave. You find something else to hunt. Challenging Arctodus would be suicidal. That immense size was its greatest weapon, not for killing, but for intimidation. In the brutal economics of Ice Age survival, stealing beats hunting. Less risk, same reward. Of course, like all bears, Arctodus probably supplemented meat with plant material when available. But make no mistake, this was primarily a meat eater, whether it caught that meat itself or stole it from others. Weapons analysis. Now we examine the specific tools each predator brought to potential combat. The American lion possessed the classic feline arsenal refined over millions of years. Powerful jaws generated estimated bite force around 1,800 pounds per square inch. That's sufficient to crush bone and puncture thick Ice Age hide. 4-inch retractable claws functioned like curved daggers. Unlike bear claws, feline claws retract completely when not needed, keeping them perpetually sharp. During combat, they could slash through flesh or anchor the lion onto prey. Speed and agility provided additional advantages. 50 miles per hour in short bursts. Instant direction changes. Lightning reflexes capable of dodging strikes from panicked prey. The American lion was fundamentally built for dynamic, explosive combat. But raw athleticism only matters if you can reach your opponent's vital areas. Against something as massive as Arctodus, that becomes problematic. The short-faced bear was essentially a living battering ram. 1,700 pounds of bone, muscle, and fat moving with surprising speed. Skeletal evidence suggests this bear moved faster than modern grizzlies despite its greater mass. Those long legs weren't just for distance travel. They could generate devastating striking force. Modern brown bears kill moose and elk with single-paw swipes, shattering spines or crushing skulls. Arctodus was significantly larger and probably hit considerably harder. Non-retractable claws extended continuously from massive paws. While not as surgically sharp as feline claws, they didn't need to be. Powered by those enormous limbs, they could inflict catastrophic trauma through blunt force alone. The bear's jaw was equally formidable. While not as specialized for slicing as the lion's bite, it could crush bone like modern grizzly and polar bear jaws. One successful bite could shatter a lion's leg or spine. Natural armor provided another critical advantage. Thick fur, tough hide, and substantial fat layers acted as biological cushioning. Attacks that would seriously wound a lion might barely penetrate a short-faced bear's defenses. This bear could absorb punishment that would kill most predators. The confrontation. We've examined the evidence. Now we stage a realistic encounter between these Ice Age titans. The setting: open grassland in what will one day become Nebraska. The time: 14,000 years ago. An American lion has successfully hunted the young bison. The kill was clean, efficient. Now the lion feeds, urgently consuming as much meat as possible before competitors arrive. In the Ice Age, nothing stayed hidden for long. Blood scent carries for miles on cold wind. 3 miles away, a male short-faced bear catches that familiar smell. Fresh meat. The bear hasn't eaten in 2 days and desperately needs calories. It begins moving toward the source. Those long legs cover ground rapidly despite the bear's enormous bulk. The lion detects the bear's approach first. Excellent vision spots movement on the horizon. As the bear draws closer, the lion recognizes the threat immediately. This isn't a wolf pack or another lion. This is something far more dangerous. The lion vocalizes, a warning roar meant to assert ownership of the kill. The bear ignores this completely. It continues advancing steadily, deliberately, without hesitation. The bear has done this hundreds of times before. Other predators always retreat eventually. At 50 yards, the lion makes its decision: stand and fight or abandon the kill. In a purely theoretical fight to the death, the outcome heavily favors the bear. The weight differential is simply too extreme. 1,700 pounds versus 545 pounds. The bear outweighs the lion by more than 3 times. The lion's speed and agility could inflict injuries. Those claws could slash the bear's face and eyes. A lucky bite might damage the bear's throat. But killing a short-faced bear would require sustained combat, and that works against the lion. Every second fighting increases injury risk. Predators live by a simple rule: avoid unnecessary damage. A broken leg means starvation. An infected wound means death. Smart predators don't take risks when safer options exist. The lion can kill again tomorrow. It backs away, snarling defiance but recognizing reality. The bear claims the carcass. The lion disappears into the grassland, already scanning for new prey. This is how these encounters almost certainly played out. Not epic battles to the death, but calculated risk assessment. The bear's overwhelming size usually ensured bloodless victory through intimidation alone. In rare cases where combat did occur, perhaps a desperate lion defending cubs or a bear cornered with no escape, the bear's raw power would likely prevail. Those massive paws could break bones with single strikes. That crushing bite could disable the lion instantly. The American lion was magnificent, powerful, and deadly. But physics cannot be overcome. When one combatant weighs 3 times more than the other, size usually determines the outcome. The verdict. Science has spoken. In direct confrontation, the giant short-faced bear wins decisively. This doesn't diminish the American lion's status as one of history's most formidable predators. Pound for pound, it was arguably more dangerous than the bear. As a pure hunter, it had no equal among Ice Age carnivores except perhaps the saber-toothed cats. But this specific matchup comes down to raw physics. Mass matters. Reach matters. The ability to absorb damage matters. The short-faced bear possessed all 3 advantages simultaneously. Nature rarely produces fair fights. Evolution optimized each animal for different ecological roles. The American lion excelled at hunting fleet-footed herbivores across open terrain. The short-faced bear excelled at dominating carcasses through sheer intimidation. When those roles intersected, the bear's advantages proved insurmountable. In the unforgiving wilderness of Ice Age North America, power determined survival. The giant short-faced bear represented power in its purest form: mass, reach, and unstoppable momentum. The American lion was magnificent, but even kings bow before emperors. Both predators vanished 13,000 years ago, victims of climate change and human expansion. Yet their story reminds us that size, ultimately, matters in nature's brutal calculations.